Okay, we're joined today by the new CYA football coordinator, Jason Huard. Jason has been part of the program for several years, and we're going through a bit of a restructure now with our football program. Football has been a challenging sport over the last several years to encourage kids to play for a lot of various reasons, and a lot of it is demographic. We've got kids that maybe didn't grow up with football as their passion like we do in this area. And so Jason he has taken on the challenge of trying to rebuild the program to some degree. We have got a new logo. We've got some new coaches coming in, a lot of exciting stuff. So we asked Jason to come in today and just kind of tell us all about it. So welcome to the Sideline, Jason.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
I'd love to hear about, just as a kind of an overview of what you have taken on as a volunteer, an overachieving volunteer, to try to take this program and move it back to where, back in the day we had a whole lot more kids playing. It was exciting. There was purple everywhere. Kind of where do things stand now, and kind of tell us about it.
So like you were saying, where we stand now is that we're rebuilding the program. The last couple of years, the numbers haven't been exactly where we want them to be, but we are doing things now to change that, right? Like you were kind of mentioning, like we a nice new Ravens logo that we're going to have, that we're going to rock. We're also going to we're getting some new uniforms to give us a new fresh look for this year. Also this year, we brought back flag football. So we want to start with that program as well and rebuilding that. I think that starts as like a good like entry level for tackle football. It's not as physical, right? It doesn't have as much contact. So it gets kids into football, start loving that game that we've all grown up to love, and then start wanting to get interested in that tackle football program. And that's like one of the ways that we're hoping that we'll rebuild the program.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about how flag is exciting because all the kids get to play all the positions. It's all skill level, and it's good as an instructional program for kids playing tackle. Now you can focus on the things in tackle that are strictly with tackle, as far as how to tackle, the mechanics behind everything. And these kids have already then been introduced to football itself through flag, which our flag program we didn't have many kids playing. This season we've got 50 kids. So Jason has done a nice job recruiting those kids. And as you've said, a lot of them are brand new. They've never played. So this is kind of your foundation, it sounds like, for the upcoming years.
Is the prime season for flag for CYA, it's spring. Is that right? Okay. Yeah. And then obviously tackles in the fall. Okay.
Correct.
All right.
And so our tackle program will start on the first Monday of August. Okay. And that's our preseason. And that will go preseason usually lasts about 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll have some scrimmages, and then we kick off. This year, normally we start that the weekend after Labor Day, but this year we'll start the week before because we're starting the first Monday of August.
Okay, in youth football, that's still a weight-based, more than age. Is it more weight-based?
So it's a combination of both. It's a combination. So it's age and weight, and so when you get to so there'll be an age range, and when you get to the end of the range, it's not like if you weigh or if you're let's say you're 7 years old and the range is 7 to 9, right, for like ankle biters. If you're 150 pounds, even though you're 7, you won't go up to the next level. You stay within that group, right, because of your age. So that's why it's like a combination of age.
Formula of some sort there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds
and
good.
you can see that on our CYA football page. That we have the age weight matrix so that you can understand how that goes. The other thing that add in there for the age is also for carrying the ball. So if you weigh over a certain amount of weight for each division, then you can't carry the ball.
Zach, could you carry the ball back in the day?
I was too little, I think. As big as I am now, you'd be surprised to know, Scotty. I actually was very tiny, I've never played a down of football in my life, Scotty.
Really?
So,
all right.
Jason, what is a typical for that tackle season in the fall? What is it? I know you talked about camp and start dates. What does it typically look like? What does that season look like in terms of days of practice and games, things like that?
Yeah, so for practice for the preseason, it's 5 days a week. We practice the Stringfellow Park, the Greenbrier Park, field number 5. That's our practice field, and that goes from 6 to 8 p.m. And then once school starts, that That week, we moved practice down to 3 days a week. And again, that's 6 to 8 p.m. We have the field Monday through Friday. So depending on how many teams we field, we sometimes have to play that game of like, okay, these weight divisions will practice Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They'll be Tuesday, Wednesday. So that way we can maximize the bit space that we have. And then games are on Saturday. And then the games are depending on like what team that you're playing, you'll have to travel to wherever the games are for OA. And the thing is about this, the Northern Virginia Youth Football League, we're also expanding. So we're playing more teams. Last year, we brought in a team from Maryland, and then the Bethesda Bulldogs. And then this year, Alexandria City is going to be joining us. So we'll also have more competition, so more games to play. Yep.
That's awesome.
And do those teams come here to play against us, or do we have to travel down there to play?
So it'll be both. So typically when a new team joins the league, they don't have a lot of home games because we've already have things set for the year prior. So like when they get voted in, they typically understand like that, yeah, they won't have too many home games. And so they usually come to us, but then as long as they get through that probation period, then they start getting into the rotation and we'd have to travel to them as well.
That's cool.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So tackle football's changed in the fact, because we talked about flag football. Flag football's entered the picture, and there's been some negative press over the years on tackle football due to the physicality of it. How do you see that working out and changing for the young kids now, and how are you getting numbers, I guess, with that, and how are you guys dealing with that?
So I think a couple of things that you talk about, like, yeah, it's over the recent years, it's had some negativity, but I will say, like, it's just like any other sport, right? There are injuries. I can't say that no one will never get injured, but we do things to minimize those injuries, right? And like the first thing, like we talked about earlier, was the age and weight matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so the Northern Virginia Youth Football League that we're part of, that's the reason why we do that. It's for player safety, right? It's so that you're not playing against a kid that's 12 years old when you're 10 and they're 180 pounds and you're 90 pounds and they can run, way faster and twice the size of you, right? So we try to keep it within that limit. Another thing too is we change the way that we tackle, right? The way we teach kids how to tackle. Before, like I know, like when I was growing up, a lot of the time it was you put your helmet across their body, right, to stop them, and that's where a lot of the concussions would come. Or when you're running, you put your head down so that as you're coming across and they put their head down, you go helmet to helmet. That's where a lot of the concussions were coming from. So the way we have it, it's a new technique. So instead of crossing it, you stay on the same side, and it's a roll technique. So it minimizes the hard contact.
Okay, that's great. I can say from my son playing football, that playing, and he didn't. He played just a little bit of football, and then he went right into high school and played football. And I think a lot of people do that these days. But playing just a little bit of football really gives you an upper hand when you go to high school. If you've just played a little bit of football, have you heard that before? I mean, getting out there and playing as a youth before you get to high school, and you're pretty far ahead of the rest of the curve.
Yeah, so when I was growing up, I associate football a lot with like wrestling too. It's like the younger that you're in and the more that you do it, the better that you get. So like that when you get to the high school level, you're not learning the basics, right? You're not learning how to run a pattern. You're not learning how to catch a ball, right? You're more into, like I was saying earlier, is like you're more into those advanced techniques, right? Like where you're looking at a formation, you're saying, okay, out of this formation, they run the sweep out of this. Okay, if this guy goes in motion, then I know I got to drop back into my zone, right? Like, so you're getting more complex. So like it is all, so those things you learn at a younger age, right? Like how to carry a ball, how to get to the sideline, how to make a proper tackle. You learn those so that in high school, you're ready for those more advanced techniques.
That's awesome. Yeah.
No, it sounds like, I mean, everything that we're doing in the county now and probably across the country is to try to minimize the risk, the inherent risk in it.
Yeah.
And also to make it fun. And it's, we had talked about this earlier, that all of these guys that are playing, these young kids that have options, and in CYA, we have 12 different sports. So they have options of playing other things. And we want to make sure that football is fun, even tackle football, even if you're a larger kid and you might not have the opportunity to be the guy running the ball, like you say, but there are ways that we can also make that fun. I think flag football is a great way to do it. But even with tackle, being part of a program and being part of this team and that whole, we've all heard it for years, the benefit of being on a team, a football team, and how close these guys are, the brothership that is part of it. It's a huge teacher. And I think it's nice to have guys like you and all your coaching staff doing that now in CYA to create that environment for these kids. So we're appreciative, I know, and I think it's going to be fun to see how you guys do as we get rolling here.
How did you get into football, Jason? Did you play football or?
Yeah. So when I was growing up, I had like a not to get too deep into it, but when I was younger, I had a rough childhood. I was getting in a lot of trouble, and I got into sports, like what it's done for me, and the character and the person I have become is because of youth sports. So I went and signed up for it was Pop Warner football, and I've been playing football. I've been involved in football since then. I played Pop Warner football. I played high school football. I played college football. Nothing special, a Division III school. And then even when I got older, I played flag indoor leagues. I have a brother, so my brother is a year and a half younger than me. So we did football, we did wrestling, and we did track all together growing up through high school. And then even as when we became adults, we even played indoor, like in an adult league, flag football. So, and then when I was in Massachusetts, I also coached high school football there. I also coached, which was special because my high school football coach, he became a football coach at Neshoba Tech Valley, and I got the opportunity to coach with him there. And then my brother was also a high school wrestling coach, and I got to coach with him too at Acton Boxborough doing wrestling. So
That's cool.
I've been involved in sports since I've been about 8 years old.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about some of the things that you're doing differently to ease the parents' minds, and I know we talked about some things. We had difficulties with coaches and stuff. What are some of the things you're doing to ensure that we're getting better quality coaches and putting safety and coaching first for these new guys that are trying it out?
Yeah, so some of the things that we're doing is like I'm trying to, I'm getting more involved with the community with high school football programs that are around. So both I've been in contact with the Chantilly High School football coach, head football coach, and Centerville High School football coach. So it's like really getting connected with that coaching staff who have a lot of experience, that played college football at a high level and have been teaching and coaching high school football for a long time. It's getting those resources to come and put on clinics and teach us, our coaching staff, so that we can be well prepared and make sure that our kids are well prepared to be on that field to both be safe and to win games.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Getting connected with the high schools is definitely a good way to kind of work in tandem with them, so the kids can definitely go through the pipeline the correct way.
Yep.
Oh, it's exciting. It's exciting to watch it kind of happen now. So I guess the next step in all of this is now the registration is open for CYA football. That's for fall registration. We've just opened it. And we're also going to do a registration here, date to be determined.
Yeah.
There will be an in-house registration. Jason will be here handling that here at the field house. I say here. Everybody by now probably knows it's here at the field house in Chantilly. And hopefully we can generate some interest in the community with these with the families and the kids. We'll be marketing it. So if any more information that you guys put out, I know you do a lot of social media. Yep. Chantilly Youth, ChantillyYouth.org and ChantillyFootball.org, two places that you can go to get everything you need about CYA football. Anything else that is important to note on that I may have missed on the social media and the presence that you have there?
So it's just, as you were saying, on those websites, you can see our other social media accounts. We have Facebook, we have TikTok, we have YouTube. We're trying to, upgrade and make sure that we're posting our videos and highlights so that you can see like what's going on with the football program throughout the year.
Yeah, I loved it once last year. I had mentioned that earlier, that it comes up, it says CYA Films Presents, and I'm thinking, it's cool.
Yeah,
It's
cutting edge.
Yeah, and the kids like that. They
Yeah,
like
they
to
do.
see, even when I was growing up, seeing like a highlight reel to the music, whatever your current music is today, is listening to that while you're watching yourself, score the touchdown or get the interception or make the big tackle. So we try to do that as best we can. Also on that, like even for like flags. So like we have an app where it allows you to like stream the games and take the videos. And so that allows us to be able to take that from the different divisions and be able to use that for our social media. And we'll carry that over to tackle football as well.
That's cool. That's very cool. No, it's exciting. We're thrilled to have you, and I can't wait to see what happens this fall. It's going to be fun to see. Can't wait to develop the uniforms. We'll start working on that here pretty soon. Yep. So when we do get a uniform in place, then we'll do a little show it here at the field house when we finally come up with a design. Reveal like we did with the soccer stuff. So that'll be good. And it is with the Ravens now, it's going to be kind of cool to have that as our moniker. So it should be fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And one of the reasons why I did that too is because, like you're saying, coaches and everybody, it's a community, right? And we're already putting a lot on these coaches that spend a lot of time with these kids. And like the last thing I want to do is try to make coaches spend out of their pocket. And so a lot of the times before, the way we were doing is coaches would kind of come up with their own brand and then buy the decals and all the things. So I want to be able to just have like that brand name that we're the Ravens, right? The CYA Ravens. And then that way coaches don't have to worry about those additional costs because they should.
Love it. Yeah, they shouldn't. I mean, they're paying. You're right. Not only just in the time it takes. People don't know, if you haven't volunteered for a sport or coaching a sport or volunteering to just be an administrator, the time on the field is a small component of what you're actually doing when you guys are down. Just the equipment alone. We have an equipment shed that you have to go in and make sure that everything is spec'd out. You got to order stuff. You're always fitting kids. You're doing all of these other things that happen on weekends long prior to the season. So it takes an enormous amount of time, and we're grateful to all those coaches that come in here and the volunteers that do that. So hopefully that will be, I'm sure they're going to appreciate not having to spend, we don't want them to spend anything out of pocket, even though they will, because they're passionate. But and I think having just the same logo on every helmet is going to be a real benefit.
Yeah, and then make the uniforms will look sharp, and then we all look the same, and I like that.
Me
Look
too.
good, feel good, play good.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
My last plug on that is if you're interested in coaching tackle football, please reach out. My contact information is on our social media platforms.
And please, I mean, obviously it goes without saying, and even though we say it all the time, but without the volunteers, we can't make this happen. And we'll have some more discussions on this program about the volunteer, what I refer to as the volunteer crisis now in youth sports. And it truly is. There is a volunteer crisis. So the more that, even if it's just a small part of something that people can do, then we would appreciate the help. So reach out to Jason if your child is interested in football and you want to participate on the volunteer side. We'd love to have you. And short of that, I think it should be an exciting season. So thank you very much for spending some time with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Jason.
Thanks.